5, 4, 3.
Coming to you from the poorly painted studios in Cumming, Georgia, this is the Chuck and Zee Show. And now, here's Chuck and Zee.
I got this.
You got it.
I
What
do
up,
got
everybody?
it.
Welcome to the Chuck and Zee Show. Of course, I'm Chuck.
And I'm Z.
And with us, as always, is Miss Producer Chaos, Miss Sharon Klein.
Not living up to that name today.
Oh,
I
no,
refuse.
you definitely did.
I know already. It's been 10 seconds. Hi, everybody.
Wow, what a weekend, man. I feel like my jaw is still sore from all the talking and smiling and stuff that we were doing yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was a fun time.
It was. It's really all inspiring. We talk about it on the podcast all the time. We say things about how you get 6 bikers together and suddenly they want to save the world. And that really does kind of encapsulate what the Buck Jones experience is like. Bikers of all type, all kinds of motorcycles, all kinds of people. The Jeep folks, I mean, there was like 45 Jeeps there too, plus a Bronco.
Yeah.
Right? There was like, what, 350 motorcycles? No.
90 something.
390 something motor. Yeah, it was like 395 motorcycles and 1 scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's nuts. And just being there and seeing that and seeing everyone come together like that was really awesome. As a matter of fact, I think in a minute I'm going to show you just a brief clip of that intro. I sped it up as much as I could. It's like a full minute long, but.
So what Chuck is referring to is
I didn't clarify.
No, the 32nd anniversary for the Buck Jones toy run.
Are you cracking yourself up further?
Yeah, I'm terrible at this.
And so that was yesterday, Sunday. We had about 450 people that were riding in the run, and it was an amazing experience. We set up for a live podcast. A lot of learning from that experience.
Learned a lot, yeah.
But we now, know that we can't have speakers blaring in the background while we are trying to talk to people.
It tends to drown out the mics.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have it turned up to 11.
And then if you turn it up so super loud, then it'll drown. It'll be too high of a gain or whatever it is.
Everyone out, you couldn't hear what people were saying. So we just logistically we learned a lesson.
Yeah.
But it was a great time, and even though we didn't get to really capture it like we wanted to. We definitely got to talk to a lot of really cool people.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed everyone that we talked to. Legends Distillery, those folks were really cool. Yeah, the place
where they distribute the toys to the families in the rural communities here. They were donating and getting toys and gift cards and things like that for 3 counties surrounding Forsyth, Hall, and Dawson counties. So
if you want, while we're kind of talking about it, Sharon, go to the toy run video.
Yeah.
You can kind of just play that real quick. the default scene.
Okay, I will.
Thank you
Your
so
drone
much.
is so cool.
Yes.
So it was a lot of fun. Thank you for them having us. And I think we're going to make that a yearly thing. Take the lessons we learned this year and apply them and do a better job next year.
Yeah.
But let's get to tonight. I am very excited. We've got two of our friends from the Sturgis crew, also friends outside of the Sturgis crew that we really enjoy talking to, hanging out with, and riding. Z, take it away.
Yeah. So tonight we have our friends Jess Brown and Jess131, who we've known for a couple of years now. Jess Brown, and then we met Jess131 on the way to Sturgis. So that was really fun. So welcome to the show, ladies.
Hello.
Oh, you guys are so
Awesome.
cute.
Well, wait a minute. You guys aren't together right now. What is that? What must that feel like? Y'all have been together for how long? Because they just did a cross country trip.
They did a West Coast trip.
West Coast trip, excuse me. Yeah, and they were together every day. It seemed like for the whole last year since Sturgis till now.
I know.
You're not sick of each
Yeah.
People call us Jess squared now.
That's hilarious. I mean, that's perfect. So that was Jess Brown talking. You want to introduce yourself to our audience?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I'm Jess Brown, and I live in Pennsylvania, and I have 2 motorcycles, and I'm pretty obsessed. Love my friends Chuck and Zee, and obviously Jess. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
This is your second time.
Mm-hmm.
This is my second time.
Yes. And now Jess131.
Hi, I'm Jess131, and I'm super stoked to be on with you guys. You guys are popping my cherry. This isn't my first podcast, but it's first time with you guys, so I'm excited. I have a Harley Davidson Road Glide, and I also have a Z125. But super stoked to be here and talk to you guys. I missed you guys.
I know. We miss you too. We miss both of you guys.
You don't just have any old Road Glide either. It's a pretty nice Road Glide.
Thank you. Yeah, I've done just a tad bit of work to it.
Well, feel free to share because on the show we talk about the mods that we do all the time. So just I know you know it. Go through the list. What have you done to that beautiful?
Oh man, I did Garcia Customs painted it for me. I love my paint job. Super glittery. And obviously I have a 131. It's been taken down to All American Customs. Those guys are like prime down here in South Florida. They did some modification to the 131. It's, I got it out of the shop. It's pushing 150 horsepower, 159 torque. I was very happy with the results. I've got Kraus T-bar set up, Olin shocks, Saddleman seats. I've got a little over 50K in aftermarket parts in that bike.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a badass bike.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous too.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can see that bike on some of our social media, obviously on her social media, but I've had that bike on mine a few times, reels, especially when we were in Sturgis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
wanted go ahead.
sorry, I have to live in a tent now, but I got a really sweet motorcycle.
Your priorities.
It's like that meme. Everyone goes, God, you guys must be rich. It's like, no, we're just irresponsible.
Absolutely not.
Don't do what we're doing.
Yeah, no. We're eating hot dogs around here, but that's okay.
Yeah, we are not planning for retirement.
No.
Hey, YOLO.
Gosh.
We're still keeping that one, going.
Imagine
That
if
phrase.
this room is the only nice room in your house, everything else like empty, but you have this room.
Could you
and super
imagine,
nice
right?
bikes.
For sure.
Little does anyone know.
Be like those influencers that rent planes and take pictures in front of them and stuff. Yeah,
I know they did that.
they definitely do.
Yeah. So we wanted to get Jess Squared on to talk about. They just did a West Coast trip. They flew out from their respective locations. Jess Brown is in Pennsylvania and Jess131 is in Florida. And they flew out to California to ride, in California, some of the scenery and all of that. And they documented everything and put it on their Instagrams. And, super jealous of that because that's a dream that we have to ride out and see all of that scenery and ride that particular terrain. So really wanted to talk to you guys about it and, let us know how fun it was. So
Should
whomever
you?
wants.
All right, Jess, I'm going to let you take it away because you planned the trip first and I kind of just invited myself.
So I basically had a week off in October, and I'm like, I gotta do something. I think I had it off for like Fantasy Fest in Key West, but I eventually was like, you know what, screw that. I want to do a moto trip. So I asked Jess if she wanted to come. She was all for it. So my goal was to see Yosemite and those, national parks, and also the Pacific Coastal Highway. And I reached out to Eagle Rider and a couple other companies to see if they wanted to kind of sponsor the trip, since it was going to be 2 chicks on bikes. I thought they might be interested, which they did. So we ended up flying out to San Diego, and we got 2 road glides, which is a funny experience just to begin with.
I've got questions for you for sure
Yeah.
about the Road Glide experience.
Yes. But
She said, "Go
Oh,
ahead."
you want to go ahead now? All right. So, first of all, when are you getting one now that you've ridden one?
Oh, I mean, the thing is I'm trying to be the responsible motorcycle rider. So I don't know if I want to, get into that payment yet, but definitely on the horizon for sure.
It's going to haunt you. Right?
Yeah.
I was totally against it. I was like against the street glide. I was against the road glide. I'm not doing it. And then I rode that one and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I got a problem. And I was like, no, I can ignore it. And then I woke up in the middle of the night one night and it was like, hey, don't you want a road glide?
Chuck, that was how you got that low voice
And
going
I was
on.
like, yep, I definitely did. And then, yeah.
Yeah, like 2 months later.
Yeah.
Z messaged me and she was like, uh-oh, that's what happened to me. I rode the road glide rider and that's what sold me.
What do you like about it? I've not ridden one. So can you tell me what's so great?
Well, I think probably Jess, considering that, yeah.
She was asking her.
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
Well, either way, anybody.
Yeah, I'm going to give that to Jess.
Yeah.
What's the difference, Jess?
So I'm the only one that doesn't have a road glide like all the time. So that's what I was going to say. The experience for me versus Jess131 was very different. Jess131 gets on this stock road glide and she's like, this thing's a turd. And I get on the road glide and I'm like, I'm so powered. This is awesome. So we both had very different experiences coming from the bikes, the respective bikes that we already ride at home. But for me, I had test road glides before, but quick rides and stuff. But I didn't have any experience like hauling any luggage or anything. So I actually had a little bit of anxiety on the plane coming to San Diego because I was like, oh my God, like I know I can ride this, but like I don't know if I can ride it with all this gear. But honestly, I didn't drop it. I almost dropped it like 5 times, but I didn't.
Nice.
But it's just super, like, it really does just around the curves and everything. The fixed bearing makes it really nice for the females because you don't have the extra weight on the handlebars. And the cruise control saved my life. Like, I love that.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. And I know how you feel 131 with like not having all of the, the power that you're used to on a road glide, but hey, you made it happen.
Yeah, it wasn't just I mean, obviously it's a big leap from mine to the 107. I was like, oh, this is it. Okay, we can work with this though. It'll still go. I think the handlebars for me was the absolute worst part because you go from a T-bar setup, it's a little higher, it's super comfy, you feel like you have control of your bike, to that granny. I felt like my elbows were in my hips and I was kind of just turning my whole body. I was like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah.
So yeah,
the stock bars are terrible.
Interesting.
So speaking of stock bar, we have a video I think Jess shared with you guys, the stock bar incident from like the first 3 hours on the bike. That was a good one.
Is it all right? Let's go to the first one and see if it's. Yeah, set it up.
Okay,
all right. So we get to Harley, we load up all of our stuff, and to be honest, I had 86 pounds worth of luggage that we strapped onto this bike. We didn't put anything I know. I packed for like, well, you guys know I don't do cold weather. So anything below 70, I'm in flannels, puffy, leather. Like when I tell you I have an entire, like one of those wet gear bags, but like the giant ones that absolutely has no business on a bike, I had that on my bike because it was full of just cold gear. It was wild.
Like you're going to NASA. Like you're going to the moon.
Yes. Listen,
Yeah.
I could have went to Antarctica, totally covered. So we get to San Diego, we strap all that stuff on the bike. We didn't really weight distribute very well. We didn't take anything out and throw them in the saddlebags. We were just like, let's go, it's time to party. So we get this stuff on the bike. It's fallen over sideways. It's absolutely a hot mess. There's no way people driving by did not take pictures and like, look at these retards. It's floating around somewhere in San Diego for sure. So we met up with Dynaho 3, Miss Megan. Love her. She was so great. She met us at San Diego and said, hey, I want to show you around my town, which was awesome because we didn't really have plans the first day we flew in. So she met us and said, hey, we're going to take you up to this, scenic sight to see all of San Diego. Oh, great.
It was the Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial. It was very pretty.
It was absolutely beautiful, but the road, super sketch getting up.
All
So
right,
when you go like,
go ahead.
So you go and it's like sharp upward turns, like almost kind of like Sturgis when we were there, but like maybe in my mind, I just wasn't ready for that, wasn't anticipating it. But we make it up to this one turn, and it was one of those where if you know what you're doing and you're from the area, you definitely take it wide. Not Jessica. Jessica's riding the inside. So here I am with my granny handlebars, and I cut that corner and literally yelled in my helmet, ah! As we're turning, my luggage is falling off, and I almost went right off the road, right?
Oh my
Don't
God.
know how I didn't go off the road, but we made it. So we got to the top, and then once on the top, I told them, I was like, that was not good. I almost died back there. I'm very nervous about going down. And they're like, oh, it's going to be okay. I'm like, no, I don't think it's going to be okay. So this was the way down. Jess was nice enough to film it. I was like, oh no.
She forgot how to ride.
There's no sound in this video. You've got to talk over the video. So we're going to play it. Are you ready? No sound.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay.
It out, and we got them locked down pretty good, but first day rough.
It's interesting to note, though, how different bikes feel and how you have them so customized to yourself that any shift or change of it is going to really throw off what you're comfortable with. I think that's important to note because I have one of my bikes really custom to myself, and that's valuable, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that any motorcycle rider should customize their personal bike so that they can have a more comfortable and enjoyable experience. I mean, every single one of my bikes, I've done something to it, whether it be the handlebars or the pegs, making those a little bit more comfortable, or the footboards, and of course the power. That's important to me for a more comfortable ride. But wow, I'm glad you guys survived Mount Soledad.
Yeah.
Barely.
That's a good story to tell, though.
So that was the first day. You didn't have the luggage packed down right. And then, so you went from San Diego to Santa Monica from there?
No, we went to, she took us up to Bayside, which is where that movie house, what was that movie house, Jess?
Oh my Lord. This child over here, my best friend, Jessica, I had to disown her for like 3 minutes when she said she's never seen Top Gun.
Okay.
I was like, Yeah, they're like, oh, well, Megan's like, oh, I'll take you to the Top Gun house. And I was super stoked. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And she's just looking at me, what's a Top Gun house? I was like,
Oh no.
Come
I,
on.
I will say that I try to be very non-judgmental in general, that certain people didn't have experiences in life. Maybe they weren't exposed to the same things that I was exposed to. And I try to be understanding. I try to meet them where they are.
Thanks.
That's a nice.
But not when it comes to like things like Top Gun. It's like
it's like not seeing Ghostbusters. How do you?
Right. How have
Yeah.
you not seen Top Gun? I mean,
I don't know.
no, everywhere in our culture, at no point you're like, all right, let
All
me
the
see what this is
references.
all about. No, not at all.
2 times where she referenced shit and she's like, do you know what I'm talking about? And I'm like, no.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm definitely the queen of throwing out random movie quotes, and I'll be laughing on the inside and look at her, and she's just looking at me.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, that's it.
I'm a
I'm
little,
just not a movie buff. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah. We know.
I'm a little bit older, so I'm 47, getting ready to turn 48 here in just a few months.
Damn.
I know, right? About to
Oh.
trade me in, try to get a newer model.
Z said, "Damn."
I know, right? I am a high value man, ma'am. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyways, what was I saying before
You say you're old.
Oh, so I am finding that, yeah, right. Case in point, I'm finding that my movie references miss certain generations now.
That's
I'll bring up a movie that I think is not that old, like Step Brothers, and they won't know it, like the generation that's coming up at all.
What are the references that they do know? Like what movie era?
Zac Efron shit.
you know, high school.
High
Like
School
the-
Musical stuff?
I'm going to get crap for this, but we were at a concert the other night and they started playing the Pokemon theme. I completely missed Pokemon. There was no part of me that even thought about watching that as a thing of entertainment. I had the video game on my phone for like a day, called 2, and was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, done, right? But we were at the concert and they played the Pokemon theme and the whole place went nuts.
Did you feel old?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I felt really, really old.
He looked at me. He was like, "Do you know what this is?" I was like, "Yes."
Because everybody was like, going, "Oh my God." And it's like, what is this? That's like Scooby-Doo theme, I guess, for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If they played the
Right.
Scooby-Doo theme, you would have been into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I derailed their story. All right. Me lamenting my age these days.
But if you do like the need for speed, like if you haven't seen Top Gun, you'd be like, okay, well, enjoy your speed, I guess. Like,
I'll be your wingman.
Yes.
You can be my wingman or whatever.
Yeah.
okay. All right.
She was not my goose that day. I'm going to be honest.
Well, doesn't Goose not make?
You spoiled
Oh
it.
yeah, maybe she shouldn't be goose. Oh.
Yeah, she wouldn't be Goose.
She would be,
Uh,
I don't know. Who's the
Iceman.
Yeah, Iceman.
They become friends at the
oh,
end.
he was a dick though. She's not Iceman.
Have you seen the? Yeah, have you watched the
new
second
one?
one yet?
I haven't seen the second one.
I have.
It's very good.
Okay.
I was stunned because everything they do these days, whenever they remake it, they just kind of pander to the audience and kind of insult them, and they're going to redo it with a whole new crew, and it was really done well. It felt like the old movie. Even Tarantino said it's probably the last Tony Scott movie you'll ever see because it really did feel like the original style of direction.
Nice.
I was very impressed with it. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So other than Jess Brown not knowing what, Maverick is and all of that, Top Gun. So you went to go see the house that they were in the second movie, in the first movie too?
I don't know which movie.
It was the first movie. It was the chick's house from the first movie that he goes and meets her at the beach house. It was
Yeah.
very beautiful. It's now turned into a pie company. So we sat on the porch of the house and ate some pie. It was lovely.
Yummy.
Watched this. That it was so nice.
Please tell me they have like names for it, like the Maverick Pie. Or
They did have Top Gun themed names, and his motorcycle was there. They had it on a stand out in front. You could take pictures with. It was pretty cool.
What was it? What did he ride?
Kawasaki.
It was a Kawasaki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't they get? No, that wasn't the movie. There's a movie. Raising Arizona, where I think the bike in the movie's actually a Honda or something like that, but they dressed it up
To be a Harley.
to look like a Harley
What?
and piped in
I was
Harley sounds.
I didn't know
That's
that.
funny because when I'm thinking about the movie, I thought it was the bad guy was on a Harley carrying the baby stroller, right, or the car seat.
Yeah, no,
Is that Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Nick
Holly
Cage.
Hunter?
It's one of the great
Yeah,
brother
I've
movies.
seen it, but it's been a minute.
Yeah, but
It's a
I
good movie.
always know. Isn't it funny how like for me it's like martial arts movies, motorcycle stuff. That when you're watching them, you know the bullshit moments, right?
Because they
that,
sound
that nobody else notices, right? Like whenever they were riding an electric motorcycle in the Marvels movie, and it had womp womp womp. It's electric. It ain't making that sound.
Mm.
They broke the fourth wall, whatever it
Yeah.
is, where you're
Some
just like,
sound editor go, ooh, motorcycle. Sorry,
Oh.
I'm in a rap tonight.
All right, so let's get back on track. So Oceanside was next, and then and then where else did you guys go?
We had dinner with
So
her and Hog Slayer, which is another Instagram person. Yeah, he's
cool.
he's super nice. Yeah.
I mean, we stayed with Megan that night and her cool cats, and then the next day we got and and we headed out to breakfast, then to Palomar Mountain, which is very good riding, very twisty.
Yeah. So the night with Megan, we actually made the decision because of weather that we were going to have to change our entire route. We were supposed to do Sequoia up to Yosemite, and then we were going to come down the PCH from about like San Francisco area.
Yeah.
And the day we got to California, the weather changed so drastically that Yosemite was the low of 15 and the high of 35. And I know Jess was super disappointed, but I was like, girl, I am not going to survive that. For sure, going to die. We have to reroute.
Just as like I do this on a Sunday.
For sure. For sure. So
Yeah,
we
I was disappointed, but at the same time, like we literally went in there with just the rentals and no hotels. So I was like, whatever, like let's have fun, and whatever it ends up being, I'll be happy with it. So she actually rerouted everything. She's like a really good decision maker. So she helped kind of make the decisions or offer ideas, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, it sounds good. Let's do it. And then so we ended up doing part of our original trip that day, and then kind of heading out towards Arizona. Where did Jess go?
Yeah, I think we lost her for a second. We'll see if she pops back on. If not, I'll have Ms. Z reach out, see if she can get that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what made you guys want to go to Arizona?
Just the weather.
Because it was warmer.
I was surprised actually when we got into San Diego. It was like low 70s. I kind of expected it to be more like Florida, but then when you actually look at it on a map, it's still kind of probably more in line with where you guys are at in the or like Georgia, I guess.
Yeah.
But hey, Jess.
Hey, sorry, I had a call come in and I got kicked off somehow.
Okay.
No problem.
So we were talking about going to, there she goes again. Another call probably.
She'll come back.
She'll be back.
All right.
Oh,
Yay.
yay.
All right. I think we're good now. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. It happens.
What's the terrain like to ride in Arizona? Because that's one of my goals, actually, is to ride out, like go through Sedona. And I don't know, somehow I imagine a spiritual feeling for some reason, not 32-degree weather.
Is it because of all the sagebrush?
It's for the vortexes. Did you say sagebrush? I just got that. I say, anyhow, it's fine. So yeah, I would love to know if it's sort of spiritual or beautiful, or like I imagine a really moving moment of riding through there.
I've actually ridden in Sedona before. You can do an Eagle Rider rental out there, and it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. And I've been there multiple times, and I think it is very spiritual. We didn't go to Sedona, but we did ride through Scottsdale, Lake Havasu, and then up to Vegas. And I love seeing the big saguaro cactus.
Oh,
Like, it's badass. It's so cool.
I'd probably cry a little bit. You know, those moments like that kind of get to me. So
Yeah.
it's like too happy or something.
What
Jess,
was
what'd you?
go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
For me, I'm sure this is not the most popular opinion, but I actually enjoyed the riding in the desert more than I did in Sturgis. There was a road between Lake Havasu and Scottsdale. It's either State Road 9 or 90, and between coming through Red Rocks and then seeing Lake Havasu and the water, it was just, for me, I felt like I was in my feels that day, whether it was just me or the riding, but it was just the most gorgeous I've ever seen. And obviously I'm a hot weather person, so like having the desert and the mountains for me was just prime.
Yeah, that's amazing. I kind of had a feeling like that when we rode in Utah. We weren't southern Utah. We were actually around Salt Lake, and then we went up into Huntsville, which is like the northern part, but it was in the summertime, and just just the wide open spaces, and then to see the beautiful mountains like in the distance, and you're coming up into a mountain and going into the canyons and things like that. It was just like so surreal, so amazing. And the weather was perfect. So I agree with you. I love Sturgis, but I'm sure that there are so many, beautiful rides. That's the one thing that they say about the US. Like, you have all different types of terrain. Like, everything that you would find around the world, around the globe, is here in the US. So I'm really excited to get out and experience more of like what that's all about on a motorcycle.
Those are the moments you live for, honestly, when you come across a crest or you come around a turn and you just see this visual that you typically would only see in the movies, but it's better because you're not in the movies. You're physically there seeing it. Like, I'll give you an example, the Forrest Gump running scene. All of those scenes from that movie are things that I would just love to be able to go see in person, just specifically how he was running across the United States. So when Z talk about doing our cross country trip, that's literally the path I want to take, is the path that Forrest Gump took on the motorcycle. For me, I've seen some really great things on a bike, right? Sturgis has some incredible views. Hawaii was amazing. But the moment that I always kind of go back to is a local one. And it's when we were on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it was the fall, and we came around that corner, and just as far as you could see were these rolling purple and blue hills. And the ones that were close were just dotted with what I call it cotton candy, because that's what it looked like. But it was the trees turning. But it was just dotted with bright reds and yellows and greens and some purples, and then you would ever see this huge pink section, and you just don't see that breadth of color in your everyday life. Like, you have to create it artificially. So to see it naturally on them, and you're so connected to it, because when you're in a car, and maybe I'm biased here, but when you're in a car, it's kind of like seeing it on a screen. You have all these things really between you and the world around you. You're protected. But when you have your visor up and you're just looking out and you feel the wind and you can smell the environment, there's just no better moment than that on a motorcycle. And if you happen to allegedly be doing 120, that's also amazing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, alleged.
I had a cop roll beside me yesterday after the ride, and he's like, I didn't know he was a cop, but right before he rolled up, I mean, we were doing, 80, allegedly?
I don't know about that. I mean, we're following the traffic in front of us.
We were going with the flow of traffic, and the traffic was allegedly doing 80. And I think the speed limit was like around there. And I was standing, doing all that stuff. And so he came up to the light, and he rolls up beside me, and he's like, hey, y'all going to the event? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I just want to tell you, she can ride. And I was like, oh. All right. See you there, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope so.
But you pucker. You go, oh, there goes my motorcycle license. No. All right.
So, what was your favorite experience? What was your favorite moment on the trip? I know you had you said Lake Havasu and the desert for you, Jess131, but for Just Be, like, this was your trip. You planned this, months in advance. Like, what was the most exhilarating part for you?
That's a tough one. I think the ride between Scottsdale and Vegas was really like awe inspiring for me. There was so many moments where I was like, "Oh my god, like this is so awesome," and like this is so cool that we're doing this together, and like it's just me and you, and we got all our shit on the back, and we're just traveling around. I think that was just such a cool moment for me. And then there was one other moment that was kind of like a very realistic moment where you're like, "Oh shit." We were on this road from um, Joshua Tree National Park over to Lake Havasu. And we were on this highway or whatever road it was for probably 150 miles or 30 miles. And there was nothing there. All there was call boxes and different crosses on the side of the road. And I was like, I just saw another cross.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, we're out here. Like, there's nothing. There's no freaking anything. I was like, we really like pay attention because if not, we're kind of screwed. But that was kind of a crazy moment too.
If they're grouped in like ones or threes, you're all right. But if you see like 50 crosses in a row, it might be a warning.
There are no gas stations or anything?
Well, the first gas station we came to was $8 a gallon. They definitely got us on that.
$8.99.
Yeah.
It's awful.
That's
Please-
like double what it is.
Was it at least 93?
Well, yes.
Okay.
No, yeah, but there was only a 10-cent difference. It was $8.99, $8.89, or $8.79. I was like, oh, they know what's up because it was the first gas station within 100 miles.
Mm-hmm.
The anxiety.
Oh,
Paying for that convenience.
Monopoly.
Yeah.
Oh, Monopoly prices for sure.
Oh, yeah. They're like, where's she going to go? You want to try the next one?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Will there be another
The
one?
side.
When you call us to come get with the gas can, it's $12.99 a gallon at that point.
Whenever I think
For
of
sure.
riding in the desert or like where you guys were, I mean, I've done it before. I've driven, but not ridden. Because I grew up in Salt Lake City, so we used to ride out to Vegas all the time. So we take, it'd be 5 hours to get to Vegas. But I always think about the National Lampoon's Vacation when they're stuck in the desert, and then Chevy Chase has to like go find a gas station because like their car's all messed up. I always think about that and how
the guys,
and how the people are like basically charging them whatever for the small parts that they even have. Like the tires are like used and they're charging them so much for it.
Terry's like, so how much is it going to cost me? Guy goes, how much you got? He goes, I mean, so how much? No, for how much is the bill? He goes, I said, how much do you got?
So basically robbing them. It's hilarious.
Although he did jack his car up. I mean,
yeah, they put like ball tires.
Didn't he launch it?
The good old green station wagon. Yeah, he definitely launched it into the desert.
Yeah, he launched it. And so like he rolled there with it wobbling, right? Didn't he? Isn't that after that scene?
I haven't seen that movie. Jessica, have you seen that movie?
Probably not.
Oh.
I haven't seen it. We'll just observe while they chat.
Can you do something about this, Jess?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to have like a whole classic movie weekend.
Oh, how I missed
I did it. There were like several movies that Z hadn't seen yet, and I was like, all right, girl, we're going to be spending some weekends in because we did marathon after marathon after marathon.
Yeah.
Now you got it all. Yeah.
Did you all have moments that you felt that sort of feeling that we were talking about where you see something just so beautiful and like you're smelling everything and feeling the change in temperature and all of that on this trip? Did you have a moment like that?
Oh yeah.
I did.
What was that like?
You go.
For me, it was that road between Lake Havasu and and Scottsdale. I know I talked about it briefly on my Instagram, but I am sober right now. So today's 52 days for me. So this was really like my first big motorcycle trip sober. So it
Mhm.
was really a completely different
Mhm.
feeling for me. I feel like I felt stuff I've never really felt before. Not that I drive while I'm drinking, but it just everything. It just felt like I was more in touch with nature, more in touch with my senses. I just felt like I was really encompassing the moment while I was on the bike more than I ever have. So for me, the whole journey was different and it was special. But that one road, I don't know, it just really hit me like seeing the rocks right next to me and seeing the water. I just felt like it was all Mother Nature had, and it was just letting me see her and feel her, and it was amazing.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
congratulations on that. Is it
Yeah.
too forward to ask if just for a cleanse or something that you just decided for your own well being that you want?
I think, yeah, right now it's going to be, it's more for a well-being thing. I had a lot of death and stuff going on with some friends, and it was just getting to be super overwhelming, and I felt myself reaching out, and alcohol was kind of my crutch, and it's hard in the community because typically we all get together, everybody has drinks, and
Mhm.
at first I said, maybe I'll just dry up a little bit, see how my mood gets, and then I was like, well, let's see if I can make it through the holidays, and really now to be honest, I've lost almost 10 pounds, just stopped drinking, and I feel stronger than I ever have. It's almost weird, but now it's like, well, let me see how long I can go. So
Yeah.
it's been great. I'm actually planning like maybe a detox trip down to Peru, drink some green juice, do some hiking in the mountains, maybe a little yoga, get crazy. January, February. So hopefully you guys can maybe jump on that.
Dang.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
you definitely can do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're very tough. You got this. I know you
Yeah.
got. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Thank
don't
you.
just that it's chemicals in your body, right? So just having that out of your system for a while, it's good for you. It's good
Mhm.
for the mind, for the body, for your spirit.
Yeah, we definitely aren't sober, right? We drink
Mhm.
sometimes, but we used to drink a lot more than we do now. I mean, it used to be, I'd go through a bottle of whiskey a week, at least.
Mhm.
And at some point, I just decided I didn't want to do it as much anymore, and so I don't. And I can definitely tell a difference in my mental state, my how I get up in the mornings, my I feel more athletic than I did whenever I was drinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think it's definitely good for you. But every now and then I gotta have one whiskey. But yeah, no,
For
congratulations.
sure.
That's really awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
I was proud of her because we ended up going to Vegas, and I was like, "Are you sure you're good with that? Like being sober, that's going to be really tough." But she was, she's been consistent, and I'm so proud of her. It's really admirable for sure.
Yeah. It
Thank
is,
you.
all the influences around you. Like you said, just the motorcycle community. I mean, like you said, we want to go out, ride, have a drink, whatever. Just socializing around people these days, it's hard without that pressure of having to have a drink. Um, but I've noticed, like, even on social media where there's some companies that specialize in mocktails and things like that,
Hmm.
you know, take part in and not feel like you have the pressure of having the alcohol. But it's
Yeah,
hard.
we did. Yeah, we did the mocktail thing. Actually, Jess and Megan both had a mocktail with me at one of the stops. I think it was our last night in San Diego before we got back on the plane. That helps. I just found that if I keep something in my hand when I'm out with the girls or at a motorcycle event, Red Bull, a cranberry and lime juice, as long as I'm holding something, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So what's the next moto
Well,
ride?
did I did Just be get to talk about her moment?
Mm.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
yeah. My bad. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, I think like I said, like going through that road from Scottsdale to Vegas was like one of those moments, and then being able to see Valley of Fire, that's been on my list. I loved seeing Valley of Fire, and then PCH was on my list too. It was like a little anticlimactic. I mean, it's beautiful, but I'm really glad we didn't spend too much time on the PCH like we had originally planned, because seeing all the other things really were more awe-inspiring than that, I think. So
Yeah. So it didn't ruin it that you didn't really get to ride the whole thing from San Francisco down.
yeah.
Yeah. It does take a little bit of time to get up there too. So I'm glad that you were able to have some other sites and see a different part of the, the terrain and have some fun with your girl. What other rides are you guys planning on coming up?
Yeah, is this going to be a duo? Is this going to be a thing you guys do from time to time? The Jesses, Jess Squared, taking on America.
Oh my God, I would love it. I'm a little more flexible with my time off than she is. I know that I have a couple things I want to do. I know we both want to do Arizona Bike Week for sure this year. I think we were talking about that for a little bit, and Daytona, and I think Sturgis is definitely going to be a yearly thing for me. But I'm planning on doing a whole 3 to 4 weeks next year. I'm going to start in Sturgis and then work my way around the Western U.S. I'm just going to do a whole trip out there. I'm hoping Jess can at least make 1 or 2 weeks with me. But yeah, I want to do, you know, what's the one in Utah? Sorry, it's slipping my mind. What's the
Mount Zion.
Zion? Thank you. I want to do Zion and kind of just, explore the Western U.S. and, make a route as I go and just do a little bike trip.
That sounds cool. What about you, Jess B?
I got, the Arizona, Sturgis, and I think I'm going to do Smoky Mountain Bike Week maybe this year. So I'll come hang out with you guys if you're going to be around there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. More than welcome.
I think there's some other things I'm blanking right now, but
Oh, Born Free California.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So then
That's
we want to back out to California to do that show, but also try to hit Yosemite and Sequoia, which we didn't get to hit this time.
And it should be nicer weather around that time.
July.
Yeah. That's a lot. So July, August, September. Well, when is Arizona? It's still August, right? Arizona Bike Week is still in August.
It's April. I think it's April.
Oh, is it April? Oh, I was thinking
Yeah.
corners or something.
I think they have two, just like we have down here in Daytona. So yeah.
Well, we'll definitely see you in Daytona and
Yes.
Sturgis for sure. But I think Z and I really want to try to get a lot of us together and go ride the Dragon together. We've been trying to talk about figuring out a way to do like a weekend trip, hit one of the lodges up, all of us kind of meet there, and then go spend the day just riding it, get some good video, some pictures, and I would just love to hit those roads with you guys. And then eventually I'd like to get you guys down to Wolf Pen Gap, Sutchess and Blood Mountain. And as I've told you guys directly before, you're more than welcome. We've got plenty of room. So just let us know when you're coming through.
Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, I would love to rip up and see you guys for the weekend. I think you're like 8, maybe 10 hours from me. I could probably knock it out in the afternoon, but yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, it's nothing, right?
Yeah, I've definitely found that having friends in the moto community is so fantastic because it seems like, and Jess can attest to this, I don't know if you talked about it when I fell off the air, but we ended up knowing people in like 3 different places that we stayed out there, and we just had a free room. It was nice. We stayed with Megan one night, and then we stayed with Chris. You guys met him out in Sturgis, Chubby Unicorn. We stayed at his vacation rental in Lake Havasu, and then we stayed with him in Scottsdale. So it was definitely budget friendly having places to stay for free and friends that have open invites.
Yeah. Shout out Chubby Unicorn.
Same.
I like that dude.
That's what you call him? That's his handle.
That's his Instagram handle. Yeah.
That's
what he calls himself.
It is kind of funny that we pick our names. It's like giving yourself a nickname, right? You're not supposed to do.
Yeah. No, but that's true. Like, I feel that there's so many people that you connect with online. You may not know them in person, but just like how we all met, right? We didn't really know each other in person, but once we got in front of each other and got to talking and hanging out, instant connection. So that's really cool. And then there's also some, websites and things like that or on Facebook groups that you can go on, and people host, motorcycle riders in their homes, families, couples, that I see Kimba, who's the leader of Greenville, one of the founders there. She always is going on cross country trips. I swear she gets like maybe 30,000 miles in a month, something like that. But she's, constantly posting about all of her experiences having being hosted by other motorcycle riders. So
yeah, it's cool too. Good thing about with our group, because as a rider, you end up in several different groups, right? You have this group here and this group that you ride with there. But I've got two of my favorite groups to ride with are my leaders group. Obviously, the ladies that are in the leaders and their husbands, and I've got a lot of friends and some people that I consider family come from that group. But the other one that I just can't wait to ride with every year is this group. Jess's and Lo and Jake, and I really like how we all kind of have a real good vibe with each other. It's very evident when you don't. You don't.
That it is.
You don't last too long whenever you don't really have the right kind of vibe with that group. But I like that because everybody's just there to ride motorcycles and have a good time. No drama, right? You can't come to this group.
So much to say, and I'm not. Yeah. But yes, correct.
You can't come to the group with that individual contributor mindset that this is about you, because it can be about you any other time. When we're all together, it's about this group getting together and kind of to let loose with other people who ride the way we ride and kind of do these things. As a matter of fact, at that point in time, we kind of don't want to do too much of it, right? It's all about us getting together and riding together. And I really appreciate you guys and your personalities and riding with you. I love riding with you because you're badasses. And you ride like badasses, so that's always fun. We got to get you on a road glide, sure. We got to get her on a up road glide for sure.
She'll do it.
Dude, I want her to buy my road glide because I'm definitely starting a new build very soon, in the next month, hopefully.
Is that breaking news? So
yeah, I mean, a couple people know about it, but yeah.
Are you going
I want her to take mine.
Are you going on a live platform again, or?
Probably not a live platform, but there'll definitely be updates.
Okay, all right. What were you saying, Jess? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
How much?
Uh-oh.
How about if I give you some movie quotes? If you can name it, you get a discount.
Oh.
I love you, though.
That's an unfair advantage.
Yes.
See what you're doing there.
I thought we were about to wheel and deal live.
Well, ladies, listen, I just want to thank you so much for coming on tonight. Obviously, I love you guys. I can't wait to ride with you again. So for my part, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed talking to you and hearing about your trip. And Z, you want to pitch it to them for the digits and stuff?
Yeah. So Jess Brown, where can people find you?
You can find me at Bikes and Balayage and Instagram. YouTube, but I don't really post too much on that. So basically Instagram.
You have an Instagram and a YouTube, but you don't post much on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. And Jess131?
I am 131_ Harley Girl on Instagram. And I just started YouTube like 2 weeks ago, so I have nothing on there, but I'm trying. We're expanding.
Hey.
She's scaling.
I'm trying.
Well, thank you so much, babes, for coming on. Miss you. Want to ride with you and see you soon.
Miss you too.
I can't wait. Yeah, we miss you too. I can't wait to see you guys at Bike Week. I'm like so stoked.
Yeah, it can't come soon enough.
Yes.
But
well, Miss Sharon, thank you so much for all of your efforts tonight and yesterday.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. It was a great event, and love spending time with you all. And I love hearing your stories too, Jessica Squared. Jessica. Because also, when you got back to your own bikes after having been on a different bike, was it just like the best feeling,
Just turning on, hearing the sound was,
yeah.
For me, it felt weird because I went on from this big boy to, I have a soft limb, so it's much smaller. So I was like, oh my God, this is weird. I felt really sketched out.
I swear, because I had the Lowrider S at the same time that I had the Road Glide, the first one that I had. And so whenever I would trade it out and ride the lowrider, I was like, how do I do this again? Like I felt so uneasy. The Road Glide just has, it just does everything for you. The turning, the leaning.
Makes you lazy a little bit.
It does.
But technology. Nobody counts on their fingers. We all like technology. All right.
But yeah. All right, ladies. Thank you so much for coming on. And make sure you, I hope you guys like this episode. Leave a comment in the comment section and like and subscribe. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Shiny side up, everybody. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
So good.
Bye.